Local productions on QTV are made possible with support from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Junia Doan's The Spark. I'm Junia Doan and thank you for joining us. Today I'm talking to noted Brazilian singer, drummer, and songwriter Fabiana Masili. Welcome, Fabiana. How did you discover you first had a voice, a beautiful voice?
Well, my mom used to play organ for us at home. I have two younger brothers, so she used to play organ, and then I started to sing with her. She would sing with us, and then I bought an amp and a microphone. I started singing, and from there, just moved to singing more and more and more till I was older. I think it was like 7 years old or so that I started really singing every day. And then I went to school doing a course.
Did you have a teacher at 7
we
or
had,
8 or
no,
church,
it was just just my mom and learning organ, how to play, and then
she had an organ at home?
Yeah, a big one with paddles and everything.
How did that come about?
It was amazing. She still has it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that typical?
I'm not sure. My mom played organ her whole life, so she had to have one at home.
She had played it as a job or as a hobby?
No, as a hobby. It's
That's
really
a major luxury in the United States.
Yeah, imagine Brazil.
Right. Oh.
So then I was in a very nice school growing up, and at school they were teaching music, and we have a choir, and then I was singing with everybody. So it developed from there.
I see. And tell us a little bit about Brazilian music, because it has a different tempo, a different rhythm, a different, maybe even scale. What do you teach us about? Teach me about Brazilian music.
Well, Brazilian music is very vast. It has so many different rhythms. It depends on where you grew up.
Regionally? Is
yes.
That what you mean? Oh.
In São Paulo and Rio, we have more bossa nova and samba and chorinho. It depends on where you grew up. Since I grew up in São Paulo, I grew up with samba, bossa nova, and rock.
Rock?
Yeah.
Where did rock come from?
Well, it's also from a big city like São Paulo. It's like New York, has, different styles of music. So, yeah. and I had this when I was younger, 15. We had bands like rock bands and reggae bands, and then from there, I decided to come to the United States to deeply study music and improvisation.
Improvisation?
Yeah.
What does that mean musically?
Well, jazz, well, it's like all the instruments when they go through the songs and they have scales and they sing and play different scales to make the music beautiful.
So you're studying voice?
Yes.
Drumming?
Yes.
What else? How many fingers do I need here?
Well, the drumming came here because I joined a group called Nation Beat, and they play maracatu, which is a rhythm from the northeast of Brazil. And it has big drums, big wood drums, and snare drum, and the bells. So once I joined the band, I wanted to learn how to play and sing, because I love percussion. And then I started playing, and now I joined Batalá New York, which is a all women samba reggae drumming group. We play always
reggae?
on the yeah.
What's an example of that? I mean, is it a?
Oh, it's hard because you probably
you need
don't
people,
know.
Yeah.
We have 30 or more people depending on the parades we do. We did the women's parade. We did many parades, Times Square. And yeah, it's different rhythms that we play. And this group is very nice because it becomes a sisterhood,
Yes.
of energy and how to help each other with the community. So it's really nice.
Who was your audience?
Well, believe it or not, we have a lot of Brazilians in New York City.
Tell me how many. I mean, is it a big community, small
I'm not
community?
sure how many exactly, but in the millions. Probably like 3 to 5 million people. They have a lot of Brazilians in Astoria and in different parts, New Jersey and Newark. They have a lot of Brazilians.
So when would you all get together? I always think of nightlife starting at 11 p.m. or midnight in South American countries.
Yeah, and theirs is later than in theirs later than here. But we try to have rehearsals, you know, with the bands, and then depending on which group we're playing and where we're playing. You know, sometimes we play, you know, at Dizzy's Coca-Cola.
What's that?
On 59th Street on Columbus Circle, they have the Dizzy's Coca-Cola, which is a beautiful jazz club. It has like live music. So if you play there, you have sets like 7:30 and 9:30.
7:30.
Yeah, we have early sets too. But if you play, for example, at Zinc Bar or you know New Blue or like more like downtown clubs, then you know they have later sets. But they also have early sets too.
So tell me, the thing I wonder, it's really not about you, it's about the people who go. If you start at 11:30 at night, right, when do you sleep and when do you go to your job? I mean,
I wonder that the whole day. Well, you get ready for it, you know, like some days you're not gonna sleep, you know, so much. Because if you come home, like for example, your show is at 11 and you come home at 2, 3 in the morning and you have to wake up at 7, you know.
yeah. How do you make a living this way, being a...
It is hard. It is hard, especially in New York City, because there's so many amazingly talented musicians here, so the competition is really strong.
Yes.
So, but it's nice because you want to get better all the time. But it is hard to make a living, I think, with anything, unless you already have, like, you know...
A following.
Yeah.
So do you do social media or do you have an agent? What's the process of taking the next step?
A lot of my friends have agents, depending on how their career is. We use social media as well. I don't have an agent, but I do like smaller shows here, and we do tours as well. But because I do so much, you know, like I work with various things, so it's hard to keep up.
I see. And do you take lessons now that you're here, or not?
We do. No, we do. We always take classes. We always want to improve. You know, as musicians, you know, we try. You know, I'm trying to learn a drum kit, and
what's a drum kit?
The whole drum set.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and also like play guitar and you know study scales and you know warm up your voice, and you know to try to be better.
How do you warm up your voice?
Well, with scales, la 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 la. You know, it's like even classical stuff.
And how much warm up do you have to do before you can give a performance to your level of desire?
I do like between 5 and 10 minutes, like to really warm up and do you know lower notes and higher notes depending. And
is there anything you have to do special to take care of your voice?
Well,
as an instrument,
I usually try not to talk so loud because a lot of people forget and they get too excited and you mess up your voice if you talk too loud, because the singing voice is a different range than the talk voice. Like some people say that, for me, for example, my talk voice is much lower than my singing voice. So you have to find...
Is that typical?
Yes. You have to go, I usually go to like phonoaudiology or like doctors that you know make sure that you put in your voice in the right range so you don't overuse it.
How much can you sing before it's overuse? I mean, in the course of an evening or week.
Well, we try to do like sets between 45 minutes to 1 hour, and then have a little break, so then you can drink some water and relax also your mind, because the show is more than just singing. It's like a whole spectrum of moving your body and connecting with people. So
how do you connect with people in a performance setting?
Well, I know the songs so well because like you pick the songs you're really comfortable with, so you don't have to worry about other things. So you focus and you look at people and smile. It's like you're having a conversation with them, and and bringing their hands to the song, bringing them to the song. Like informing them what's happening, and I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I try to connect with energy. Like looking at people and conducting myself in a way that they feel comfortable coming with me.
They say, at least in theater, audiences change. The audience all has personality. Is it true in a jazz club too, night to night or performance to performance?
It is true. It's scary sometimes because sometimes, you know, depending on the club you play, it's not like some jazz clubs you go and sing, people are really respectful and quiet. And some other places, they're just like talking loud and laughing. And it's hard to get into that, you know, kind of like, hey,
pay attention.
Pay attention a little bit. You know, you don't have to stop talking completely, but you just take a little notch down, you know, like on the conversation. So it depends. It depends on, for example, if I sing on my rock band, then it's like people are more like, you know, wired up and they're drinking.
Do they want to dance with that?
They dance and they enjoy, but they also talk very loud. But if I do Brazilian jazz at a very nice jazz club where people pay a lot of money to come in, they're really respectful. So they come and they sit and they have their drinks. They have a little conversation here. They're going through their lives, but they really pay attention and enjoy.
Are there a hierarchy of jazz clubs? Are there a lot of places you can perform?
There are a lot of places here. This is the best city to perform.
Say why.
I love it. I love because the variety of people from all over the world that come to see you, you know, it's really beautiful. And there's a lot of tourists from everywhere that come to the city. It's a pretty magical city, in my opinion. I love it.
How much does dress or makeup influence the experience?
I believe a lot. I believe a lot.
Tell me what you've learned.
Well, I try, in my opinion, like I like to be elegant and not like show too much. And I don't know, I think it's more of who you are, your personality, you know? To be like sparkly and, you know, put like a nice, you know, lipstick and beautiful makeup and jewelry, like, so you kind of shine.
What's the Brazilian look in jewelry? A little bit more exaggerated than
U.S. It's not, it depends. Again, it's a taste thing. Like, I feel like we like to, you know, we're women. We like to, you know, be like little like jewelry and show off. It's nice.
It is nice.
Sparkle, right? It's nice to
it's
sparkle.
fun being a woman, right?
I love it. I don't want to come as anything else.
It is. So do you hang out mostly with a Brazilian crowd in New York?
I have a very mixed crowd that I hang out with. You know, you wanna also learn English. A lot of my friends, they don't know very well English because you know, they only hang out with the Brazilians. So we try, you know, I try to do both. You know, my Brazilian friends are, you know, I hang out with them, and then with the Americans and all over the world people.
And when you, I don't know, I've never really been a performer, but do you have goals of where you want to be performance-wise or salary-wise or recognition-wise or recording-wise?
Yes, I feel like all artists want to have people coming to their shows to see them. And,
right.
And I think this year I had a great opportunity with Carnegie Hall that they called me to do Musical Explorers. Which I'm not telling everybody, you know, kind of. I'm keeping it in the low key as well. But I'm very excited, I'm very proud. You know, I worked also with Lincoln Center Education, teaching Brazilian music for the kids, maracatu, the rhythm I was learning at Nation Beat. And so I feel very lucky and proud to, you know, Carnegie Hall for me is like the top, you know, of at least in the United States. And I'm very proud to show my culture and, you know, for kids. And
how do they have you do that? What is the program actually in detail?
The program is really amazing. It's called, again, Musical Explorers. So it takes all the kids from the city, from New York City, to explore.
The public schools or just anyone who wants to sign up?
They have a group of schools that are already selected.
Okay.
And it's different than Lincoln Center has more of
open enrollment.
Open, yeah. But also it's like schools that are enrolled on it. But they have this schools and they bring the teachers and the students, and we teach the teachers to teach the kids.
Oh, that's valuable.
Yeah, and they have like booklets like with like the rhythms and how to speak, and which language you're speaking, what do they do in the country, you know. It's really interesting, and it's cool because once they highlight the person, is like, oh, this, for example, myself, she grew up in São Paulo, she learned organ when she was young with her mom, and you know, they have like pictures of us when we were young. It's really adorable. It's really like you connect with the audience in a deeper level.
But you said you're teaching the teachers, but you're also teaching the children?
Yes.
Not at the same time?
No, it's because you have like videos we're going to record, and so they give this to the teachers.
A recording of you?
Yes. Of
doing the
singing,
class?
Yes.
I see.
And then, because, you know, it's harder for me to go to all the schools, and it's easier for the teachers that already connected to the students to teach them whatever they have to teach. So it's really nice, and I'm excited. And they have a big show that goes through the whole week of all the schools coming in to Carnegie Hall. And this year, I saw in the beginning of the year, my friends were performing Sophia, Ray, and they were playing. And it's really cool because they have somebody talking to the audience, and then all the artists on the stage, and they're all singing and dancing, showing the culture, how they dance, talking about the language. You know, it's really interesting.
And how many different cultures do they have that participate?
Yeah, each semester for now, as I know, is 3. So they have different.
And it's once a year?
Twice a year, yeah.
Twice a year. How lovely. So you can stay affiliated with that, or just
yes,
so long as they
I want to be affiliated.
Yes, as long as they do the Brazilian
But it's really wonderful
focus.
just to have the opportunity to do, you know, to work with this, you know, high level, you know, communities of Carnegie Hall and Lincoln Center. It just brings you to another level of, oh, this happens too, and what are they doing in the city with the children? You know, what are they teaching them? And surprises you when they're teaching cultures from all over the world. They could not teach that if they didn't want to.
Yes.
But they're opening a whole like level of knowledge for these kids.
I see. Now you talked about the way you involve people at an audience in a jazz club is through eye contact, basically, and perhaps energy transfer. Yes. How's the best way to involve a child when you're trying to teach them?
That's even harder. Because, as you know, children are more pure and they're more like innocent. So if they don't like it, they just don't like it, you know. So I don't know. Like we were speaking, you know, I'm a Gemini, so I don't know. It's easy for me to communicate.
Yeah.
Even in different languages, which is a little harder because you have to think,
right,
you know, in another language. But I don't know. I have a good thing with kids, so for me, it's not.
Do they sense your warmth? Or attention?
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
Or the fun part of
you? The fun.
The fun!
They like to laugh, so.
How do you bring them to the fun?
I don't know. It's like a secret, I think. I don't know. It's like it's been in me. Like I love, you know, like how they just naturally come to you. Like, and want to play. And maybe because I have a lot of energy, so they like to, you know, they like to be with people. Like they're like running around and happy and.
I was telling the crew earlier, I like to laugh.
Me too.
You know, and I find a lot in life funny, or try to find the funny in it. And I think that is a better way to live. And kids especially enjoy some of them. Now that I have young tots, especially enjoy that kind of, it's almost like a secret that you share with the adult or with the child. They're so rambunctiously happy. You know, in the moment. So you're going to stay in New York then?
Well, I think so. Like, I never say never, like, move somewhere else, but I'm very happy here. I think it's a very addictive city. Like, it has so many things going on. I love that now that I know all the jazz clubs and places that I like to hang out, and all the people, and parties that I do, and events, and it's getting better and better. So, like, I feel very at home here.
Would you do anything like go on the road with a band, you know, and have them travel around America or Europe?
We do all the time. We did various tours with my other bands, and you know that's what I plan to do. Like, it's hard for me. I feel like personally to focus on one thing because I like, as you know, as I said, to do like various different things because that makes me happy. To not just do one thing.
True Gemini, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. Personally, I like to do various things. So I like to play drums. I like to play with this group. I play with that group. Instead of having just my group touring. So it's harder if you have various things happening to, you know, make them all tour. So.
So would you do a little singing for us?
Yeah.
What would you like to sing? A phrase or two.
Maybe sing like Girl from Ipanema, because everybody knows.
I like that. One of my favorites.
Olha que coisa mais linda, mais cheia de graça. Ela, menina que vem, que passa num doce balanço, caminho do mar.
So my experience of you goes straight to my heart. You go straight to the emotional from your eyes and your voice and your face. That's really a wonderful effect. Really a wonderful effect.
I want to make people like enjoy, because music brings so much joy to the world. You know, we have people going through so many different things, you know, sadness and, you know, hard work. So I feel like when you go to a concert, you have to forget all you're going through personally and bring joy to people, make them smile, make them relax, even for like 45 minutes, forget about their problems, what issues they're going through, and just enjoy. You know, music is beautiful. I feel like I'm so lucky to be able to perform and to make somebody laugh or smile for a minute. You know?
Yes. Is your mother coming up here, or your family moving here?
She doesn't like to speak English so much, but she came here she comes here like every 2-3 years. But I go home all the time, so she enjoys more that I go there.
You go there. So a friend of mine is from São Paulo, and she said the life for women is very different in America versus São Paulo.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm asking.
I don't know. I'm sure you be the same there.
Yeah.
It's a personality thing. I feel São Paulo is like New York. It's a very big city with various things happening, amazing restaurants, amazing clubs. So it depends on you.
What ability did you have to adjust so quickly, or at least adjust to a different language, a different style of living, school, when you first came here?
Well, I was always like studying abroad home, so it was easy for me to be away from home.
Really?
And I was very independent, so I enjoy being by myself. I enjoy being like, you know, introspective and doing my little things. And I was lucky as well to study in amazing schools. My parents worked really hard to put us to like a private school at home. So we were lucky to learn, you know, English there. And it was a German school. Colégio Kelly was my favorite school. I did from like kindergarten to the end. So
what made it so good?
Because I don't know, it was such a wonderful school with like amazing teachers. Everybody was happy because they were paid really well. So you know, it makes a difference when you're growing up in a nice environment, when you're safe. My parents always worked really hard to make us feel safe and, you know, comfortable and learning different things and respecting others. So I feel nowadays it's harder. I see my friends with kids and with the iPads and iPhones.
Yeah.
It's harder, you know, to keep them more like, you know, in a calm state of mind.
Did you have a dueña? Did you have someone sort of always accompany you when you went out? Not necessarily dating, but earlier in life. Were you free to roam the city?
Well, I grew up in Rio Claro, which is a smaller city in the state of São Paulo, so most people there knew each other. So I actually used to go to school. We were biking to school. So it was like a group of 10 kids. My mom, till today, she's like, I don't know how I let you guys go by yourselves. But we used to go by ourselves. Everybody knew each other, kind of, in the city. So I feel like in São Paulo is a different story, because there's like New York is a bigger city, more dangerous, you know, with people there, you know, who knows.
Yes.
But I was very, very blessed to have an amazing adolescency. And
so the school taught in German? What did it teach in?
They had options to teach German or English, and I picked English. But it was a German school, because the owners were like
it was for a private school?
It's a private school, yeah.
Oh, that's so.
It's still there. Like I pass by, I'm like, hey.
Oh.
Brings me amazing memories.
And why did you pick Berkeley? Why did you go to school there for music? What did they have that was so interesting, other than the Pacific?
Amazing. First, I never had come to the United States, so it was wonderful to come and be really deeply into English, learn to talk in English. Because when you learn there, it's different, because you're not speaking English all the time. So here, you're kind of forced in a different level. And also like to have all these musicians from all over the world that, you know, oh, I do this, I do that. And you know, I like to be around people that do different things.
And that took place in Berkeley.
Mm-hmm. In California,
What other schools had you considered going to?
I wanted to go to Berkeley in Boston, but I just wasn't ready for the cold in there. But most of my friends went there. It's like a higher, like super high level. And I also studied at jazz school. I think it changed name now in Berkeley as well, because it's just a smaller city. I wanted to start small, you know, in the United States.
Right.
And Berkeley is more like a student school, so it was nice.
There used to be something called, I think, something like Pacific Coast Jazz, which was very low, soft sound, soft snare drums. That's not Brazilian.
No,
jazz.
Brazilian is Brazilian jazz is mostly Brazilian music with improvisation of the instruments in the middle of the song. So they just go through the scales, and you know, it's like a wave that they build, you know.
Oh, interesting. What a metaphor for life.
Yeah, it's true. It's like a wave from Rio.
Yes. How interesting.
Yeah.
So have you applied for citizenship?
Not yet, but I have a green card. But I will.
Was it difficult to get a green card?
Yes, it's very difficult because you have, you know, to prove so many things, you know, to be like, I have a O1 visa, which is an artist visa, which you have to prove that you're outstanding artist. So you have to have all these people signing, you know, that you are, you know, amazingly talented. But then you have to compare with everybody that's here. So it's like all these people.
And what is the green card? Is that for a finite amount of time? Or
yeah, usually it's like, they give you like, it depends on the case, but usually like 2-3 years, and then you have to reapply again, and they give you 10 years.
All told together?
Yeah, 10 years. And they give you like the first years just to prove that you're going to pay taxes and be like a good citizen.
Right.
And then they give you more if you do so. So then you have the 10 years, and then you can reapply. Every 10 years, you apply for the 10 years green card.
Again?
Mm-hmm.
So that can go a lifetime?
I'm not sure exactly if you can, I don't know, like deeply the laws, but usually people that have the 10-year, they already apply for the citizenship, because after 7 years you can apply for citizenship. So it makes more sense instead of reapplying. But it depends, again, like personally what you want. Maybe you don't want to stay here anymore.
Right.
I mean, you know.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you. So Fabiana has sketched a life of really optimistic ambition. That she took was really a family get-together, namely the singing, in which she had talent and her mother had commitment in teaching her, and she springboarded through that into a life of variety, a life of pleasure, a life of supporting herself, we hope, better and better and better, and that she really indulged in I don't want to say the bigger world than Sao Paulo, that wouldn't be kind or fair, but the more varied world than Sao Paulo, and that she's built a life for herself. And isn't that really the story of life? Wherever you are, your interests, prepare yourself, study, go out there, learn the language, live the life, and keep going. And you don't really know how wonderful it could be. So thank you for tuning in. Do something kind for someone you know and someone you don't know. And I'll see you next week. And be sure to thank people who are kind to you. And see you. And thank you so much, Fabiana. It was just wonderful.
Pleasure. Thank you.
To contact Junia, send her an email at juniadonsthespark@gmail.com. For more information, program schedules, and news about future guests, go to www.juniadonsthespark.com. Thank you for joining us. See you next time on Junia Doan's The Spark.
Local productions on QTV are made possible with support from viewers like you. Thank you.